There are a lot of challenging situations that people are going through at this time. I've tried to help a lot of different people with a lot of their problems. Lately, it has been working with my daughter to try to overcome her current situation. In doing this, learned a lot of new things that I did not know before. And we had a discussion basically that if we're willing to do this for each other, how much more would it mean to do that for someone you don't even know? So we sat here talking about what would we do? Reach out, try to help someone. Because if you could save one life, it would be worth whatever time you dedicated to it. Honestly and truly for just that reason. Well, that led to another question. How do you save a life? First, you have to show up for them for true, honest reasons. Be there. Give them guidance, give them advice that they may need to get through the times, because when they're in the moment, they don't see an end to it. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't see how it could become better. You have to truly and honestly care about them. Not for personal gain, not for what situation can benefit you, but truly just care about people being people. You are a person that needs to overcome a situation so that you can be your true authentic self. And that could be the whole reason, very unbiased of what you're going through, where you come from, doesn't matter. It's just people helping people. Part of it is not trying to force someone into a situation, positive or negative, in order to help them come through what they're going through. If you force the situation because you know that's what they need, in your opinion, most times you just make it worse. But in order to help, you have to know or at least have a concept of their issues. This is one of the hardest parts. The easiest way to know what they're dealing with or what the situation is to truly and honestly listen to their thoughts and feelings. And this is tough. You want to help, you want to interrupt, you want to give advice based off of what they're telling you. But most often, that's not the problem. Listening to their thoughts and feelings is the best way to fully understand what they are going through, why they're where they're at, and what they're dealing with. The issues with that are defensive situations. Everyone has them. Some push them more than others. But you need to know how they're truly feeling to understand how you can truly help. How do you truly understand if the defenses get in the way? You have to learn and look and watch and understand the difference. 90% of people, when they're going through something, they will show you one thing, but be going through something totally different. The way they feel and what they're going through is not what they're showing you, presenting as the situation. They don't want to admit to themselves or others the true problem of what they really need to work on, because it will make them feel less of a person, or not accomplished, or depressed, or hopeless, or that they've never accomplished anything. All those are just lies that we tell to ourselves. How you feel doesn't dictate what you've done, good, bad, or otherwise. How you feel encourages you to make good and bad choices. That part is true. So how do you make them feel better? How do you make them go through that? Well, generally you have to push through the problem and get to the solution. And when the solution comes, you can become a better person. You can provide a better outlook on life, which will thus change the way you view things, change your actions and choices, which will bring a better situation to you. Problem with getting through these defenses is even if you can see what the true problem is and truly know how to help or find a true way to help them, then the rest of the defenses kick in. They will distract themselves with anything to not have to deal with or feel the pain of the situation they find themselves in. These are all situationally based things. Everybody's dealing with different kind of things. Some are family problems, some are childhood problems, some are relationship problems, some are just not feeling good enough, not knowing their own worth, not knowing what they should strive for in life. But when the other defenses come, you have to recognize those and help them conquer those, or they have to conquer those on their own in order to progress down the road of actually healing. Healing, moving forward, and becoming better. The distractions can consist of being too busy, diving into work, alcohol, drugs, relationships, jumping from one to another to distract from the true emotions of what you're trying to fix, what you're trying to move forward from. The biggest problem I found when you do get through the defenses is then they will generally, if you get too close to the actual issue, they will either make a new issue to be addressed. That way they can distract you from the real problem because you're getting too close to understanding and they feel vulnerable. All those need to be dealt with. The situation that was original and the new situation. So it's not avoiding the situation that has now become. You still need to address that. But why did that situation become? And then you're even pushing closer to understanding the true issue that needs resolved, needs help, they need focused on. A lot of times when you are moving forward and getting close to finding the solution, the person will focus on things that are wrong with you, deflecting the situation. Especially in relationships, it can turn into, you made me feel this way, you made me do this. That's not a true way to deal with the underlying issue. That just distracts you from being willing to help them, and it distracts them from having to deal with or feel the emotions of the situation they're going through, because now you have to deal with the situation that has been brought to you. This is one of the most dangerous things with trying to help someone. If it's addressed properly, it will help you both. If it's addressed properly, both will grow to become better people, and you may have things you need to work on yourself, which is absolutely fine to push through and go into your own healing and your own parts to make that happen. The dangerous part about this, when you are getting close, is if they deflect or they make you feel like you did this, or you made them do this, or they are never going to be good enough, or all these other things that will come up, is you can start to believe those things as well. And if you are not in a good place for healing of yourself, it's hard to help them heal, because now you slip into a mode or a depression or a dangerous spot in your own mind where you believe the things that are said, or you just truly need to deep down address the issues that are there. And maybe you aren't willing to do that either. But if you're not willing to do that, how can you ask someone else to be willing to deep down deal with things that they don't want to see or hear about? So it can be a beautiful outcome, but you must be willing to do that same work And that's where the truly honest part comes in. If you're not helping someone for the right reasons, or you have a motive, this is where you'll fail. When it derails to something you need to work on, or feelings that you're not good enough, now you can resent that person because all you were doing is trying to help them, but now they made you feel not worthy of helping them, or not doing well enough in your own life. Then who are you to judge me or say? Which brings up another good point. If you're truly helping someone, you can't judge them. If you're judging them, you're already the first problem in the healing process. You have to be open to see their side of it, their situation, despite whether you can truly understand where that person's coming from. You can't judge them for the decisions they made. You can't judge them for the feelings they had. You have to separate yourself completely from that. Because if you're judging them, you're a part of the problem, not the solution. They will judge themselves enough, and that's a hard enough thing for them to push forward through to get to the other side of the healing process. Often people will stop working on themselves because they are changing, and it is working, and their life is getting better. But their friends, their family, their loved ones, the ones they might be in relationships with, people they work with, the community, they can see them changing too. They don't like it because they're used to as constant. They're used to the situation, what it is. They know how to address the situation of what it is. If you're improving, it may make other people feel less than you, or that you are now trying to be better than them, therefore you can't have the same conversations you used to have. It's not the case, but people will view it as that. And if you are choosing to become better and they are just toxic or in a negative situation, then that part would be true. And you would remove them from your current situation, your immediate group of friends, people, relationships. And a lot of people, when they see that that's the next step, is to remove the situation that's causing the part they need to heal, they may have emotions and feelings behind that they don't want to let go of. When bad things happen in your life, including failed relationships, loss, all these things, when you end that relationship and you move on from that person, you don't throw everything away saying, oh, that was a bad situation. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You keep pushing forward. But you take the good parts of those relationships, of those friendships, and you hold them dear to you. That's still a part of who you are, who you become. That's one way how you know what is valuable to you that you need to keep and build upon, and what is not. If you throw it all away and start from scratch, you'll just find new ways to sabotage the friendships or relationships, because you're starting from scratch every time. You have no foundation to build off of. Keep the things you love, keep the things you value. Separate those from the people. Do not associate the things you love and want to keep with the people that you no longer love and want to keep. Because if you can't separate them, either you'll keep the things you want and love and have that foundation, but never be able to let that other person go and release the thoughts of them, or you'll lose all of it. Another reason why people will tend to stop the healing process or stop moving forward is deep down the whole point of starting this was they want to be accepted. They want to feel normal or better. They just want to be happy. They don't want to deal with the pain. They don't want to constantly have problems and issues that they have to work through. But the only way to push through that and not have a constant repetition is to address the situations you have. If you address the situations you have and you move forward, then you don't have to make the same mistakes over and over and over. Because if it's never addressed, that's what you'll look for. Subconsciously, you're trying to be as far away from the negativity, the bad situations you find yourself in. But you didn't heal that, you didn't walk away from that. So that's where you find yourself winding up over and over. And then you ask, why can't I find a better friend? Why can't I find a better situation, a better relationship? Because those are the things you're used to, and that's what you look for. And when it happens to you, you know that deep down. You're not willing to accept it. You just tend to attract or find the worst people. Which is true, but only because you choose to ignore or not heal the problem. Not because you can't be better, not because you can't find better. They start changing their situations when they get in a new situation, feeling that they have moved forward and they have healed. When they become better and they feel better and their life is becoming better, it's lining up the way they would like to see it, on solid foundations and true friendships, true relationships, not having to worry about old issues creeping back in, whether that be addictions or bad habits, pulling you away from the path that you want to be on. A lot of people make the mistake of, I got this now, I'm good. Because they started feeling better and now they know what they want. But when they start that thing that they want, if they haven't truly gotten over it or healed those things, they will just bring the past with them. It will cause new issues, and now you have more to heal. It's painful to go through the healing process, but how much more painful is it to lose something you really want because you weren't willing to deal with the things you don't? At the end of the day, a truly healed person equals a happy person. But with that, to be truly healed, you have to be happy with the things you do, the people you can truly confide in, not worry that the deepest, darkest secrets or the things you've gone through would be spilled all over the place, rumored about, talked about. Truly healed person no longer lets those things affect them like they used to, because they've moved through them. They no longer have the control over their lives that they used to. How you feel when it's just you with no outside catalyst. That would be going deep into yourself, not how you feel when you're with friends. Do you feel better? Did you move on? Did you fix this? It's when you're by yourself. You're alone. How do you truly feel with yourself? If you're not happy, there's more to be done. If you can't be happy with yourself, it won't matter how good of a situation you ever find yourself in. You'll still never be happy. Healing is a consistent journey, and it's a constant journey. If you're healed and become truly happy, and you find more relationships and friendships that truly help continue that to grow, to become more happy, and keep those things in the forefront so that you never forget where you were, where you came from, and what you no longer want. You never want to go down those roads again. Forgetting about those things just makes you more susceptible to starting those same journeys. You have to see the process, how you got there, so that when it starts, you have the boundaries in place. You do not want to go down those roads again. You never want to feel that way again. Therefore, move forward. You did it once, you can do it again. I have faith that you can do it this time. Problem with most people's healing journey They don't even think they can. They don't think there is a way to become better, a way to deal, a way to feel good. They feel like life just happened to them. It's bad situations, which is true. A lot of times life did just happen to you. You were dealt a bad hand. But you can choose to have that bad hand crush you, debilitate you, make it so that you can no longer move forward and ever be happy. Or you can allow that situation to change you, to become a better person. If you allow that to change you, you now have the knowledge to help somebody else going through the same situation. If you have the knowledge and honestly the drive to help someone else, not only will it help you further, but there's nothing like helping another person conquer the demons. Life will continue. It doesn't matter how well you set yourself up and how well you push through. Life will continue. Life will happen. But you have the ability to choose how life will affect you. If you have good boundaries set up, if you've changed yourself for the better, if you're working on a better dream, life, and situation consistently, when bad things do happen to you in life, you can know where they stem from and why. You can deal with those problems, and you can keep yourself out of the situation for further problems. Sometimes the past has a way of creeping up back into your life. You've dealt with the problem, you've moved forward. Somebody else, a friend, a relationship, someone else from your past comes back in. You've changed, they haven't. They don't like that you changed because they want to be happy. They see you successfully moving forward, and that hurts them more because they haven't been able to heal. They'll never admit that, or if they do, at least then there is a chance that they can heal themselves. Majority of the time they won't admit that. They'll show a fake front that they're happy and they've moved on, but you've changed and they don't understand why. Sometimes they were the problem that you had to change from. Sometimes you were. But you can't move forward in a positive direction to be a better person, help yourself or help others, if you get stuck in that feeling that you were the problem. Whether it was them, whether it was you, whether it was a combination of all. If you heal that, you won't be stuck with that. You can move forward. Every choice has a consequence. That doesn't mean that they're bad. They can be. Being healed, moving forward, is making better choices. Understanding how you went down the road to begin with, and what do you need to do to get out of it. Make better choices, become a better person, and that will make a better life. And in the end of all of that, you always have to remember that in order to heal, to move forward, to make it better, in the process of healing and working with someone to heal, it generally gets worse before it gets better, because there's a reason that person that you're trying to help doesn't want to feel, doesn't want to deal, because it cuts them deep. It cuts into who they are as a person, and it could in so many different ways make them feel like either they have no control over the situation, they feel worthless, they're not a good enough human being. Maybe at once upon a time they weren't. But every human deserved the chance to become that. And if you can get to the point where you're willing to help them, no matter where they come from, the background, what they find themselves in, political parties, all this other stuff that we're so easily distracted by nowadays, and truly care about them as a human being. And you can move forward honestly, trying to heal them just so that they can be healed, just so they can have a better life and be a better person. You will never be a more better person yourself. And that's the only way to get to true connection, deep change.